The NFL season right around the corner. We are closing in on week 1, due to start about a week from today, hosting the Chiefs and the Lions. And I really wanted to go into a team that I think has a lot more pressure on them than maybe, initially thought. And that's the Dallas Cowboys. And, what's staggering to even think about with the Dallas Cowboys is they haven't been to an NFC championship game. Not the Super Bowl. Haven't won it. They haven't been to an NFC championship game. Haven't played in it in over 25 years, which is ridiculous. And they're America's team. They're the biggest brand in the NFL. Haven't played in an NFC championship game in over 25 years. And recently, I made a video about their playoff loss to San Francisco. Recently, they've had really good teams, but they just haven't stepped up in those big games, haven't gotten over the hunch of those big playoff games. Now, you can say whatever you want about the Dez Bryant catch. Was that a catch? Yes, it was, but wasn't ruled one. The other games, though, a lot of choke jobs going on there. And, I think it starts a lot with Dak Prescott. What kind of Dak Prescott are we going to see in the postseason? He's got to perform at a higher level in the postseason. And that's why I think it's a big year for him. Earlier in the year, you saw, he was getting into some fights with some teammates on the sideline. That happens a lot. That happens in the NFL. But it's kind of a sign of respect that you just respect your quarterback and you don't get in his face if you really have respect for him. Like, if you're watching the Hard Knocks series, you don't see anybody getting in Aaron Rodgers' face because they have respect for him. That starts to make me think, how much respect do the other Cowboys have for Dak? And then you can't go without talking about the Trey Lance situation. Now, I'm not sitting here saying that they brought in Trey Lance to overtake Dak. That's crazy, because Trey Lance is pretty much a certified bust at this point. But you cannot sit here and say that it doesn't run across their mind a little bit that Jerry Jones' mind, you know what, maybe the guy can still play. Maybe he's got potential. It's the reason they gave up a 4th-round pick for him, guys. There's a reason they give up a 4th-round pick for him. Is that to just have a really good backup? Is that to sit and develop him? Maybe. But there's a reason that they got him. There's a way that they think they can swing it. And another thing that you ask, what happens if the Cowboys get off to a rough start and you got Trey Lance sitting back there? Is there not going to be talk on these talk shows about putting Trey Lance in? I'm just saying. There might be. There really might be. But if you really look at the entire roster of this Cowboys team, you have everything that you would want. Tony Pollard is going to have a breakout year this year. Finally gets to be alone in that running back room. Obviously, had to share a lot of carries with Zeke, who, just wasn't there for the long game. Zeke, great red zone back, in my opinion. Can't do what he did for 3 or 4 years ago. Pollard is going to excel this year. Pollard probably in his prime years still. He's going to have a really good year. You have a bona fide one in CeeDee Lamb. Great receiver. I liked the addition of Brandon Cooks. You brought him in. You still have Michael Gallup. Dak's got guys to throw to. Your defense is elite. Micah Parsons might be the best defender in the NFL, if not in the conversation. You have a team. You have a team with weapons. You have a good defense. And you have a coach that's won a Super Bowl. But at the same time, at some point, you got to get it done. The NFC is not going to be this weak for this long. The NFC is a weak conference as we sit here today right now. The AFC is a far stronger conference. If you want a window, if you're a Cowboys fan, if you're the Cowboys as a team, if you want a window, this is a year that you got to do something. You got to get something done. So I'll tell you right now, Mike McCarthy is going to be out if they have a subpar year. If they do the same thing they did last year, I'll probably be out too. He's got to produce better. He's got to produce better. It's a Cowboys team that they got to get to an NFC Championship game this year. San Francisco has their old QB debacle going on. Is Brock Purdy good? Is Brock Purdy bad? We don't really know. The Eagles are obviously going to be in the NFC Championship game. Then you look around the NFC and there's really not much else. Really not much else. You should be competing if you're the Dallas Cowboys. It's a very telling year. It's a telling year for Dak. It's a telling year for Mike McCarthy. And it's very important that they execute and they have a good year because stuff's going to happen. If not, changes are going to be made. This is a franchise. This is the biggest franchise in the NFL. And they haven't played in a conference championship game in over 25 years. And you have a really solid team that, without question, should be a Super Bowl contender this year. You got to go for it. They're paying Dak a lot of money. It's got to be, you got to have a good year this year, or there's going to be problems.